This is the 21st season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. I'm telling you, we're going to get right into the guests today, folks. Yesterday took the day off because we did a bonus show last Thursday following day 4 with Frank Scalish. Tom Brubaker from Fishing Chaos came on to introduce the nationwide 6-month-long BTL and St. Jude tournament series. It is a catch, measure your 5 longest, and we're going to run a number of different tournaments through it, with 100% of those proceeds going to the St. Jude Children's Hospital. If you haven't watched that show, highly suggest and go back and do it. Even if you are not one of those guys who has done an online tournament where you measure your fish and you put the marker up there, and then you do all sorts of great prizes from BTL listeners. That's going to kick off the middle of October, run through the middle of April with several specialty tournaments in there and a ton of great prizes. So highly suggest you go back and listen to that show. Working on today's show. Today's show is really like 6 shows in one, and we're going to get to it because we're going to kick things off on the West Coast, a tournament that Bass Zone, Mark Jeffries, a number of guys have covered for over the past decade, one of the longest running, richest tournament histories, and quite frankly, richest payouts. The U.S. Open is coming up back on Lake Mohave. I think this is the 3rd or 4th year they've had it on Mohave with the water levels on Lake Mead. So we're going to have Billy Egan from One Bass, who's going to come on, talk a little bit about the Lake Mead Open that just went down last week, and then kind of preview the U.S. Open. Still an opportunity for guys to get in that. And then we're going to turn our attention to the 25th anniversary of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Yearly, you know, I talk about this all the time, have a bunch of guests on. We have talked about it before. The online auction to support the Hall of Fame, where that money goes to the Wonders of Wildlife, the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame exhibit that's downstairs. Johnny basically said, hey, you get this space, and it is an awesome space. So it goes to that. It goes, you've had Gene Gilliland who's on, who goes, the money for that goes to grants. It goes to scholarships for high school students who are looking to get into that natural resources, the DNR, the wildlife conservation, but understand bass fishing. So all sorts of cool stuff on there. We're going to have a number of anglers. We actually have people from California, people in Missouri, Wisconsin, and then anglers that are on Lake Gunnersville and Lake of the Ozarks currently. So let's kick things off. Let's bring in the man who makes things happen at One Bass, Billy Egan. Thank you for jumping on BTL. It's 6:30 in the morning where you are, so big shout out.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on, Matt. Appreciate it.
You are a busy man. You just wrapped up the Lake Mead Open, which had good numbers. You guys worked through the water levels on Lake Mead, but I watched the weigh in that. You had one of the biggest bass ever weighed in, I think, in a One Bass on Lake Mead with a 8+ pounder, but a really good tournament that you guys just wrapped up there on one of the most historic fisheries in the country.
Yeah, it was a good tournament. Lake Mead's always a special place. It's just a shame to see, the water level the way it is right now, and projected to be even lower next year. The event went off without a hitch. We had 100 boats out there, which was very manageable for the launch ramps currently at Lake Mead. Hemingway across the way is doing a full-blown ramp update. Caldwell Bay was basically waiting for our tournament to get over before they started doing a few more improvements there. But typically I can turn 2 lanes into 3 lanes for an event to get boats launched in the morning if I'm down there on the ramp doing the traffic control. But it was truly a two lane launch ramp at Caldwell, and one of the lanes was on a pipe mat, and people weren't real stoked about getting on that. And if you had a double axle trailer, it was fine because the back tires would hang off and the front tires would stay on it. But the tournament went well, and Joey Uribe did catch a 805 pound largemouth there at Mead, which is rare. We had one caught probably about 6 years ago by a guy named Mike Walsh from San Diego. So, I believe there was a 10-pounder caught in one of the events years ago, and Lake Mead's not known for big fish like that, but they're out there. It's a big body of water, and part of the special thing with Lake Mead is, finding those fish, because it's such a large, vast body of water that there's a lot of dead water out there. And the crazy part about Lake Mead was the water in September was 89 degrees in some places.
Holy cow.
And I don't know how they survive in that temperature water. I know they can get down to some deeper water, but they're still catching them in shallow water in 89-degree water, and I went out there, spent some time, and had a little bit of time before the tournament to get out there and, just take my Rangers E521 out there for some fun. And I tried the tried and true minnow and forward facing, and you couldn't tell whether you're throwing at gizzard shad or carp or bass, but you started to see some activity there, and then got frustrated, grabbed a crankbait, and caught 7 fish. So it was a good event. It was real nice to see Dylan Denny, one of the young and up and coming pros, take that down. And now he's fishing the U.S. Open after success at Lake Mead and a little money in his pocket. So he's going to come down to Lake Mohave and put his grit against the rest of the guys down there. We've got right now 135 boats and about 145 co-anglers. Based on that trend, I see our numbers somewhere over 150 boats, because I know there's a lot more co-anglers and pros out there that have said that they're going to sign up. I mean, 95% of the guys at Mead said, yeah, we'll see you at the U.S. Open. So, and some of those guys haven't signed up yet. So there is a little bit of time. We do have this week right now. The lake at Lake Mohave has been off limits for 2 weeks, or almost 2 weeks. The safe light on the 27th is when people can fish again. And there's basically 8 days prior to the tournament that guys can get out there. But again, Lake Mead was good to be there. It's always fun to get out there, and there's lots of memories. And John Murray was out and fished that. Rick Clunn came out and fished Lake Mead. It was really good to see both those guys, because it really brought up some great memories. And Aaron Martins, he was basically fishing with me every day out there, because some of my fondest memories at Lake Mead are spent with Aaron Martins and Byron Velvick and John Murray and the gang out there, attending the U.S. Open in past years. And so looking forward to getting out to Lake Mohave. Bryant Smith took it down last year, and who's going to be this year, we're not sure, and with our partnership with Bassmaster and through Bass Nation, we've qualified 25 pros and 25 co's last year who are going to the lacrosse championship right after the U.S. Open. So, my summertime was pretty slow. June, July, August, not a lot going on. But as soon as September comes around, it ramps up. I was just at Lake Mead, leaving tomorrow for a big trout tournament at Big Bear Lake with about 700, 800 people fishing that tournament.
Smoke.
And that's a 2-day tournament. Then I'm home for 2 days and leave for the U.S. Open. And then we, look forward to having that event out there. And as soon as the U.S. Open's over, I'm off to lacrosse to go to the Bass Nation Championship to root on our 25 pros and co's who have a chance to go to the Classic or make a berth to the Classic. And then right after that, I'm in Cabo for our largest tuna tournament in the world. So just a few things going on.
Yeah, very busy. I think it's one of the things that I think is interesting is if you, I just had this conversation with Todd Klein yesterday, and I was like, I don't know, and you've had full fields in the past, 200 plus boats in this thing, but if you look at the entry fee versus the payout and what you get in the U.S. Open on a $1,600 entry fee, it has to be one of the best return on your investments in tournament fishing available today. Because I mean, the thing, and it ends up, it's like over a $70,000, $80,000 win by the time everything's done with it on just a $1,600 entry fee, right, Billy?
Yeah. So basically, with a $1,600 entry fee and that $1,600 entry fee has been here ever since I've been running Wombass, which I'm going into my 17th year next year at the helm of Wombass, which seems crazy. It's, just hearing Mark, that soundbite of Mark saying, "Hey, that's BTL."
Coming at you.
Yeah, coming at you. Dave Rush and Mark Jeffries and Dan O'Sullivan when we first started doing the live broadcasts of the U.S. Open. It's been an amazing run, and we're it's $1,600. With our partners with Ranger Boats, Mercury Motors, basically a Z520R with a Mercury 250 worth a little over 90,000. Some could say, basically $100,000 boat, and with 150 boats or more. I think Bryant Smith with 170 boats took $70,000 cash. And that's just the payout. That doesn't include big fish, big stringer, and other monies that's also involved in the tournament. And $100,000 boat, you're walking away with $150,000 to $160,000 for a $1,600 investment. And that's one of the things we pride ourselves on, is whether it's one of our pro-ams or one of the U.S. Open. Typically it's over 110% payout on your entry fee. And that's because of our partners, and the boats that we give away at each event. Every single event has a Ranger Mercury prize boat associated with it, as well as cash.
When can people sign up to fish this? I know you said you have a few more AAA anglers, which we've been through this. You can go back and listen to it. The cool thing is all competitors fish all 3 days. You randomly drawn with a AAA angler each day, and then you basically fish as a team for the 3 days. So if your AAA catches a 5, it counts towards yours as the boater. If you're the boater and you catch a 5, it counts towards your AAAs, and then the way it works. So you end up in the boat with someone that you're working for, 3 random guys each day, which is really cool because we've seen AAA guys who come in. It gives everybody a chance to win. We've also seen it's interesting to me when it works out. It seems like the guys who catch them still catch them because they're around the fish, which is like the top guys are around the fish and they catch them. Rarely do you see like a AAA's like had no idea what the hell I was doing, and my AAA guys caught 12-pound bags behind me every day. It's always kind of like a cool teamwork to do that. But how long did you say that you can sign up for this if you want to head west or east, depending on how far west you are, to Mohave in a couple weeks here?
Officially, the absolute deadline, as long as there's communication letting us know that you might be signing up or that you're trying to put some, funds together and that your intent is to sign up, would be October 4th, the Friday before the tournament.
And onebass.com, WONBASS, onebassevents.com. You can just Google Wonbass, WONBASS, and find all the details on it.
Wombass.com is the homepage. Basically, we have a couple different URLs, but if it's wombassevents.com or wombass.com, it goes to the same website where you can sign up. You can find out about all of our sponsorships, our contingency programs, the details information for each event, which is, as a tournament director, we get phone calls all day, all night. Doesn't matter what day it is, doesn't matter what time it is, saying, what time is the meeting? Where's the registration? Where's the hotels? And it's pretty amazing that, all that information can be found on a website.
It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? The world.
Wonderful thing. But
at times,
some people just need their hands held and they want to talk to somebody.
Is Rick coming out for this one this year, Billy?
Rick Clunn?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
For some reason, he's got something with Lake Mohave. I'm not sure what it is. He prefers Lake Mead. And there's some guys that are like that. Mohave, the major
does Mohave have giant smallmouth in it?
It's got giant smallmouth. It's
like
got,
giants, like 5-6 pound smallmouth. Like
it's
20 pound bags.
Yeah, it's half the size of Lake Mead, and the fish are twice the size as Lake Mead. And the smallmouth fishing and the largemouth fishing is phenomenal there. And with Laughlin being a partner of this, it really lends to the event, because even the hotels, if you're staying at the hotels, which have charging, which have everything available, we've been with them enough years where they know what the anglers need and what they expect, and they roll out the red carpet for the anglers. it's only 15 minutes away from Catherine's Landing, which is the official host facility where we do the launch and where we do everything. And Catherine's has got a little hotel down there by the water. They've got everything you need right there in the marina. It just makes everything so simple, so easy to run an event there, because you've got, you know, their people, their facility, and you're literally minutes away from anything you need, as opposed to Lake Mead, where you're 45 minutes from civilization out there.
Yeah, it is. I talked to you, like I was planning, you know, once the qualifying for the EQs did not go as planned this year. Like I kind of had some aspirations. I've always wanted to jump in the U.S. Open as a boater. I'm getting married on the 25th, so I decided to kind of save that kind of funding and timing. So I will definitely jump into it. But I mean, if you win $170,000 and then you get to go back and stay at the Golden Nugget, like, I mean, there's nothing better than that. Like, you catch mid 20-pound bag of smallmouth, you get a boat, $70,000 cash, and then you get to go party your ass off at the Golden Nugget. Like,
right?
You're living life. You're doing something right, Billy. So
yeah, you know, I see that trophy back there in the background, Mr. Penn.
I know. I still keep it back there. It's still one of the most cool. I have that picture there too of Bradley Hallman wearing his OU shirt, and then that's Bub Tosh who won it that year. That was a crazy year, and then me with the AAA. So that's my goal. I mean, I'll say it. I still want to be the first to win it on the AAA and the boater side. Lofty ambitions, but got to have something to keep you going, Billy. So.
You have to go get married, right? Instead of coming out and fish.
I don't have to. That's by choice. I'm very excited to get married, Billy.
Good for you. Good for you.
So,
I'm excited for you.
Well, I'll let you get going. I know you got a bunch of business to attend to, but One Bass, WONBASS. If you're thinking about fishing this, you don't have to go through any big cities or anything. You basically just get on one of the highways if you're from Oklahoma, and you head the sucker out west, and then you're there. And I know a number of different people. Frank Scalish Jr. Fished it last year and came out there. I've talked to Josh Bertrand about it. It's a cool lake. It's a cool experience. I think every serious bass angler should experience the U.S. Open at least once in their life. And 17 years in, you're doing a hell of a job, Billy.
Thank you. Yeah, again, just so everybody understands, WON-Bass is, I believe, the only circuit in the nation, other than maybe another one in Canada, that does shared weight format. So, you know, it is a team event for the day. You're predetermined who you're fishing with before the event with the random draw. We've got great people fishing it, some great Western sticks. We've got Spencer Sheffield coming back out, Brian Smith coming back out, Clifford Perch coming back out, Josh Bertrand, and we got a new one this year that's making the drive from Texas, Mr. Milliken fishing this year as well. So there's some
is that breaking news?
Well, you know, he's asked me not to say anything, but we're so close to the event, and we've already put out the list of anglers. So he's on
breaking news. Oh my gosh, Billy!
Throw it out there that Mr. Dan Milliken will be out at the U.S. Open this year, testing his grit against the Western pros and some of the big name guys.
Ben has caught multiple Western state record smallmouth before. I see Ben making a run at this thing. I think I could see Ben coming out there and making some waves, so to speak.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to have him and everybody come on out. So there is time to still sign up. It's super easy. You know, if you're a AAA, all you got to do is fly into Vegas. It's an hour and a half drive east to Laughlin, and or drive from wherever you happen to be.
Yeah. I think I've got a listener from Oklahoma doing it. I think he heard about it. He said it's on my bucket list. He signed up and he's headed out.
Yep. We've got him on the list. We've got some people coming all the way from Australia to come fish this. We've got a couple guys from Japan coming out to fish it. So it's a great opportunity to come out and have a great time, fish with some Western sticks and some big name pros, and catch some desert bass on the moon, you know, and have a good time. So wonbass.com, if you send a message to wonbass.com, everything comes to me. I'll answer personally. So love to have you. Love to reach out and see everybody. We've got the big expo happening October 5th at the Edge Pavilion there in Laughlin, where all the sponsors will have a table for everybody, and we'll be live again from the expo and all 3 days of the U.S. Open. So make sure to tune into wonbassevents.com, our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube to watch all the fun and see who's crowned champion this year.
Have fun, Billy. You're going to snap your fingers and it's going to be Christmas time.
Yeah, I know. Well,
based on your schedule.
2 more podcasts to do today, so we're going to go through each one of them and get things organized, and we'll be out there soon. So I appreciate you having me on. For all your listeners and all your viewers, thank you for having me, and good luck with your wedding, and congratulations.
Thank you. See you, Billy.
All right, bye.
All right, Billy Egan. We're going to take one quick break. When we come back, John Mazurkowitz, I believe that he is already in Springfield, Missouri, the mothership. Probably somewhere close to the wonders of wildlife, where the it's the 25th anniversary of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. 3 esteemed individuals going in this year. Randy Hopper, if you don't know that name, legendary with Ranger Boats and now Vexus. And then Craig Lamb, longtime contributor, work for Bass, back, when print was king. It's still relevant, but he has done so much behind the scenes for those who follow the sport, both with Bass and on the media side with Bass. And then a guy who I think we've all used one of his reels, and it's long overdue for him to get into the hall, William Shakespeare Jr. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, John Mazurkowitz going to kind of lay out the platform, and then we're going to see how this goes, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 7 guys. Half of them are on the water. Half of them are at home. They've all donated to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame auction, which is currently open. The link for that is in the description on YouTube. But we're going to walk through some of these prizes. So it's BTL on a very special Tuesday, September 23rd. We'll be back in 49 seconds.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
All right, welcome back. BTL on a Tuesday. Let's bring in John Mazurkowitz, president of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame Board of Directors. Thanks for jumping on, John.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.
Have you ever had thoughts of going out and jumping in the U.S. Open on the AAA side there?
Matt, my earlier days when I worked for the Walker Agency out in Scottsdale, Arizona, Mojave, Lake Havasu, Meade, the Colorado River. I used to have a Starcraft Bass Boss 160 and used to have a blast out there. And yes, there are smallmouth. But yeah, that would be fun. I did a lot of stuff out west back in my younger days, Matt, and so I'm familiar with everything he's talking about. That U.S. Open's always been a big event out there. Great to see you promoting that. That's pretty good. I got a big kick out of all that.
All right, you are in Springfield, Missouri.
I am at the Hilton Garden Inn right now, Matt, and thank you for having me on, because the few board members that are here doing some setup today. I get to sit back here, drink coffee, and BS with you for a little bit. So thanks for that.
I kind of wanted to set up the rest of the show with you as the president of the board of directors. A quick overview of why this weekend is important for bass fishing and why the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame annual auction, online auction and online and in-person auction is important to the health of the hall.
Well, here's the one thing I say about this whole week, and obviously there's a few of us already down here in Springfield. We have folks, obviously most of the folks will be arriving tomorrow and the next day. It's really that 1 week of the year where the entire bass fishing industry, we all take off our hats. We don't work for any one brand this week. We all work for the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. We all work for what our mission is, as you know it well, being on the board yourself, celebrating, promoting, and preserving the sport of bass fishing. And so we're going to be down here. We're going to be having some fun. We're going to be honoring some great people. It's really cool to walk in to the White River Conference Center Thursday night and seeing the people that are in there. Obviously, when they're not in that room, they're competitors. But when they're in that room, I say that all that goes away. It's just a great evening, and it's going to be fun honoring Craig and Randy and Mr. Shakespeare. So I'm looking forward to it.
This online auction raises a lot of money for the hall, but it goes to a number of different important things that kind of encompass all of bass fishing, not just tournament bass fishing, not
Correct.
just one aspect. Talk a little bit about where the money that's raised from all these great professional anglers and companies and industry leaders have donated to this, kind of where those funds kind of get disseminated after this 3-day auction.
All right. So we have a set conservation grant program that is run by our conservation committee chair, who's Gene Gill, and Gene is also a member of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Gene has volunteered on this board. I believe it's been over a decade, and Matt, you know Gene as well as I do. This guy doesn't do anything without putting in the full effort. So it's a pleasure working with Gene on all that. Gene has a group of gentlemen that help him. And let's see if I can remember everybody off the top of my head, but Ross Self is the Director of Freshwater Fisheries for the state of South Carolina. Phil Morlock, who's with the Canadian Sportfish Association, has been very big into conservation and advocacy down here in the States and in Canada for multiple decades. Chris Horton, who's with the Congressional Sportsman Foundation, he's their conservation director. There is a professor at the University of Tennessee, Martin. They have one of the better fishery management programs in the country, and I think I got them all. But
You start naming people, it's dangerous, John.
Yeah, it does. It is. So we offer these grants, all these different organizations, fishing clubs, etc. Put a grant in. We make some decisions on who's going to receive them. We have been dishing out anywhere between 40 and 60 grand a year, going back, I believe, to 20 or 21. Mm-hmm. As you see on some of the things there, one of the ones that I really get a big kick out of, you see the live release tank on that trailer. Yep. That was the Alabama Bass Nation, and actually it was their youth group. It was really all the youth club, and I believe that's Daryl High that does all that. That was very cool. That picture right below it of the mossback structure, yep. That's at Braywood, Mizona Natural, one of the national forest, or it was not national forest, but one of the state forest areas in Illinois. Matter of fact, I was on that trip. I had no idea I was going to get put to work. I went there to go check it out, take some pictures, and they were a little short staff. And so the next thing you know, I think I may have even built that one. So, so that was cool.
So through 2024, 131 matching funds secured by recipients. So and then matching funds secured through recipients 466,000. So the total value of the funded projects through the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame through 2024, over $500,000, 597,000. Mention the other side for scholarship recipients. This is all on bassfishinghof.com, but over 52,000 total scholarships through 2024. So as we kind of go through the rest of the show and we get some guys on to talk about some of these projects, that's where they come. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, John, is probably the most special night in bass fishing. I call it the most underrated night in bass fishing, because those who know, those who don't would be mind blown at who is walking around that room, most of which those guys have blue jackets on, but from industry to competitors. The banquet where those three individuals or the families of those three individuals, if they're no longer with us, in the case of Mr. Shakespeare, who's been gone for quite some time here, get to kind of be recognized and then inducted into the hall.
That is it's a great night. I mean, Matt, I don't know how many you've been to now, at least 5 or 6. Mm-hmm. I've been involved with this organization. It's been well over a decade. And as you all know, once we found a permanent home, within the Johnny Morris's Wonders of Wildlife Museum and Aquarium, our organization, and you want to say the notoriety of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame has risen tremendously, and it's been great to be a part of it. I'm looking so forward to Thursday night, and Matt, as you know, because you'll be here sometime Wednesday. We have a little meet and greet with all the inductees and their families and our board and all that on Wednesday night. That's a really special night, as you know, Matt. But very relaxing, very casual. Gets a chance to, so we get to meet everybody, and everybody's real comfortable going into Thursday night. And we were able to give some of our inductees a little bit of advice and guidance on their speeches and some expectations. But so everything about it. And Matt, a lot of people don't realize that. That I'd say, and I mentioned this earlier. That's the one night of the year where you have all these folks in the room. You have people from BASS and MLF. You have folks from Daiwa. I work for Daiwa, but we have folks from Daiwa and Rather, Rapala. Trying to think of
you're naming people again, John.
I know. There's I went down that rabbit hole. Sorry, man. But
all the major industry players are there.
Yeah, the major players, and everybody's there having a good time, and basically supporting the sport. And luckily, we have a really solid organization right now that we're able to raise some money and do some good things with it. We've become somewhat that entity where. And I've always been on that other side, on the manufacturing side, where all these different organizations are hitting companies up. Hey, can you support this? Can you support that? And it's hard for individual companies to do that. But now we're that resource, and obviously we're the ones that are hitting up all the pro anglers, hitting up all the manufacturers and all that to support to support our big auction. We'll hopefully we do pretty well with that right now. I get to track the numbers of what bids are. We're doing pretty well. Obviously, we have certain expectations, and hopefully we hit those. And as long as you go to bassfishinghof.org or .com and jump on our online site, and hopefully you can support us.
Appreciate it, John. Get back to work.
Oh, come on! I haven't had breakfast yet.
I'll see you in tomorrow.
All right, very good, Matt. Looking forward to it. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you for the time. I appreciate it. That is the president of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, John Mazurkowicz. There should be a prize if you know how to spell his last name. I've had issues with Pangrak before, but Mazurkowicz, wow, that's a tongue twister. All right, let's get right into it. I see some anglers back behind there. I see some guys who have donated it. Let's bring in BTL. I guess you're a regular contributor. I love the shows that I do with you. The one and only Pete Robbins from Bassmaster and Half Pass First Cast with his lovely wife Hannah as well. Thanks for jumping on BTL, Pete.
Thanks for having me, Matt. This is an exciting week for all of us, I think.
It definitely is. All right, we're going to jump right into this. One of the coolest trips that is on this bass fishing Hall of Fame auction that you can go to bassfishinghof.com. The direct link for it is in the description of the show, and you can kind of follow along. But one of the, probably the biggest item on there, and there seems to be one kind of giant item. I think there's been some like international hunting trips before. This is what it's titled: Top Water Tuna Fishing with Skeet Reese at Sportfish Panama Island Lodge for 2. That sounds exciting.
I think it's exciting. I am not the donor of this. I am just the facilitator of this. But
yes,
my wife Hannah and I have been going down to Sportfish Panama Island Lodge since 2021. We were invited by sort of a random friend, and I figured it was a once in a lifetime deal, and I became addicted. Like if I had found this before bass fishing, I'd be going to the Tuna Fishing Hall of Fame banquet this weekend. It's just insane how good it is. And Shane Jarvis is the owner of the lodge. And he's one of the fishiest dudes I know. And it's one of the nicest lodges I've ever been to. And we were going down next May and June. And he said, well, would you be interested in me donating something to the Hall of Fame? And I was like, yes. I said, that's just it's simply amazing trip. And I didn't know that he's kind of a fan of bass fishing too. And he said, what would you think if we brought Skeet Reese down? They're both sponsored by Grundens, but I don't think that was sort of the main deal involved. I think he just wanted to get Skeet down. And I called Skeet, and Skeet was all in. And we said, let's make it into a prize package. It's a valuable prize package. I'm going to be down there that week too. There are a couple other fishing industry heavy hitters who I can't say their names who will be there that week, but it's my favorite place at my favorite time of year, and to get to see it through Skeet's eyes is going to be particularly
This
special.
is the right thing. So I'm on your website, Half Past First Cast. This is the type of thing for this trip. So if I'm seeing this correctly, that is a very aggressive tuna, and that is a popper right in the middle that they're trying to absolutely truck.
And that's not even the full story. Like, that's a pretty mild picture. What you will see is they run radar down there, and you will see 4 miles away on the radar birds diving and spinner dolphins jumping as they all work together with the tuna. And the captain will say, hold on, and you grab onto the boat as tight as you can, and you run over there. And at that time of year in particular, there are acres of tuna blowing up. And usually you get bit right away, and then you're tied into one for a long time. If you don't get tied into one right away, all of a sudden he says, hold on, they're 3 miles away, hold on. And you grab on and you run again. And by the end of the day, it is the most mentally and physically tiring thing I've ever done. We've caught tuna there. The biggest one I've been attached to was 208 pounds. We've had groups catch them up to 250, but you're going to be tied into like 40 to 80 pound tuna consistently all day on topwater baits. And it's the hardest type water strike there is.
Experience is the blackfin tuna, and they're about 7 pounds. And it's on heavy gear, and they have owned me. I've done it once, and I couldn't imagine something that's literally 20 times that big. But here's the other bonus: Skeet's going with you. Are you on this trip, or is this a separate trip that's with Skeet?
No, Skeet. We are hosting a group, and Skeet and his wife Kim have elected to join us at that same time.
Well, why doesn't it say with Skeet and Pete Robbins?
Because no one wants to be there.
Come on, Pete. You got to give yourself a little credit.
I'm going to be there. Actually, I haven't announced this publicly, but I am retiring from my full-time job at the end of this year. And next year is my year of yes, where I'm going to be traveling full time. So from May 23rd till June 9th, I will be in Panama hosting groups. So
congratulations. You're a lawyer for those who don't know. You're a lawyer. You're a big time lawyer. You put the suit on, the tie, you head into the corporate job, but then you have like this alternate life over here where you like run the fishing media world.
Yes. And I've spent 30 years as a lawyer turning down great trips. And so next year is I'm calling it my year of yes. People say, hey, you want to be in Argentina next week? Sure, I'll go, whatever. And so I'm going to be in Panama for 3 weeks. So this trip is the priority. Go to Bass Fishing Hall of Fame and bid on this one. But if for some reason you don't win or you can't make those dates, hit us up at Half Past First Cast, and we'll find another time to get you down there.
Yeah, this is obviously all goes to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Awesome for Sport Fish Panama Island Lodge. And that you said that owner's name was, what was his name?
Shane Jarvis, who will be at the banquet on Thursday night. He's going to be our guest.
So big shout out to Shane for donating. It's a $14,000 value trip. Now listen, we have guests that are coming on later. I'm seeing them in the queue here. So if a $15,000 bass fishing or tuna fishing trip is a little bit out of your budget, we've got some other things. But if that's something that you might be interested in, definitely check it out. And then I know you have a little bit of work today, then you're hopping on a plane, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow night, Matthew.
Thank you for jumping on, Pete. Always enjoy it. We got to do a whole nother show where we just tell stories. I feel like we're way overdue for one of those. Let's knock one of those out before the end of the year.
You tell me when. I'm always free for you.
All right. See you, Pete.
Bye.
All right. That is Pete Robbins. All right. I see Juice from Juice's Jigs with a brand new hair jig that he is giving to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame for the auction that has never been sold before. No one has had your hands on it. You will be the first. I also see Matt Steffen, but he's in the studio. So I'm going to go to the guy who's fishing for $500,000 this week. Right?
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Are you out on Gunnersville right now, Matt Becker?
I am. I got to turn my phone sideways. Is that better?
I mean, you can, yeah, if it's not. Yeah, there you go. Matt Becker fishing for that, but former Angler of the Year on the BPT. And we're going to get into some of the really cool trips that you can bid on in the Hall of Fame. So I know how important practice is out on the water. I can't thank you enough for taking 5 minutes out of your time. I hope it didn't throw the rhythm off. I know how important you get into a good rhythm in practice. Then you're like, damn, I got to do this interview. So thanks for jumping on.
Honestly, we just got here, so I just got down here and literally launched the boat at 9 o'clock, and I was like, I got to hop on here at 9:10, so I made a quick little move and just threw a topwater out and caught one on my first cast. So I had to catch a bass before I hopped on with you.
Very cool. One of the things that the Hall of Fame auction is known for is really cool experiences, and you are offering a Bass Fishing Hall of Fame experience trip
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about where it is and kind of what it involves?
Yeah, we've done a couple trips the last couple years, and I have done it on Dale Hollow, but this year I decided to do Watts Bar. Watts Bar is a fishery that is on the rise right now, and I've lived there for 3 years now, and I felt like I finally figured out the lake a little bit. And whoever wins the trip, I can just about guarantee at least 5 different species, if not upwards of 10 different species of fish. Like, it's really cool fishing, especially in that November, December, January timeframe. Like, it's really cool. It's got literally like an average day of bass fishing out there. You're going to catch 4 species of bass. You're going to catch largemouth, smallmouth, spotted bass, and a meanmouth. Just about every day you go out. It is really cool.
Are we talking? I would imagine topwater might be an option that time of year too. It says between November and April of 2026, or is it more like what type of styles?
It's really going to depend on the time of year and the weather. November, you could catch them on a frog. You could catch them scoping in the middle, cranking, swim bait, topwater. I mean, it really doesn't matter. November's my favorite month, so I'm hoping whoever wins the trip wants to come in November because that's my favorite time to fish. But really, anytime we go out there, we can do something and catch some bass. And like I said, the goal of that trip will be 10 species of fish. It'll be a multi-species day. We're going to catch some big stripers. I've been, every fall I've been catching like 20-pound stripers out there, so we can do that. I mean, it's going to be an all-around just fun day of fishing and catching.
This says on here, it says a 4-hour trip with 1 to 2 guests. Now, if you get to 7 or 8 hours, are you willing to maybe push that for an extra half hour to get that to get to that 10th species?
Oh yeah, it's a full day. Like we.
Oh, it is a full day. Okay.
Yeah. No, I if we're going fishing and we're going out for as long as they want to be out, there's no time restraints on it. So it's from the time they get there till they're tired of catching fish. So
all right. So it could be a fishing trip. It could also be maybe a little educational trip. I know you've got that new hook out where you like reel it and it goes. Brrr. That's like your deal, right? Can you over there? Are you gonna be catching them on that thing?
We definitely could catch them on that thing. It's literally wide open, and that's the cool thing, and that's why I chose Watts Bar, because we can literally tailor it to whatever they want to do. If they want to learn about electronics, we can do that. If you want to fish grass, you want to throw topwater, want to throw crankbaits, I mean, we can do whatever the winning bidder wants to do. So that's why I chose that. And it'll be an experience. It'll be a learning day on the water, and definitely some fun fish catching. So that's why I chose that, and honored to donate to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. I think it's a cool cause, and hopefully we can get some bidding going on that trip.
It's currently at $650. Next bid's at $700. So doing it, dude, the background, it looked like with the cloud cover and just that little ripple, it looks like such a fishy day out there.
Yeah, it is. And there's like some storms in the distance that are rolling in. So like they're going to be biting here soon.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think you might have a good day out there. Just poking around before you go fish for $500,000.
Yep. That's all we're doing. Just looking around a little bit the next few days. So
here's Kings 5586 said, went out with Matt for his Dale Hollow trip last auction, worked his tail off, and was very fun to share the boat with them. Highly recommend bidding.
Oh yeah, we had a great time with Kyle last year. That was fun.
Very cool. All right, I'll let you get after it. I know you're one
good.
cast in and you caught one fish, so yeah. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, see you, Matt. All right, that is Matt Becker, and like I said, there's the experience there. If you get into the direct link on all of it, you can do the all items, you can do trips and experiences, you can do the jerseys, you can kind of mix it up. Let's get into like a hybrid combo here, and I'm running like 5 minutes behind, but we are going to go to Wisconsin and bring in another BTL regular. I swear I didn't plan on having the entire core tackle pro staff on this. You got to unmute your audio there, Matt. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotcha. Matt Steffen, co-owner of Core Tackle. I was slightly jealous to see the conditions that Matt Becker had for the rest of the day out on Gunnersville. Were you not?
Yeah. I'm always jealous of somebody who's out on Gunnersville. Yesterday when we talked, you're like, can you come on for 5 minutes? I was like, I'm thinking about going fishing. you're like, just do it from the boat. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if that'll work cell service wise. I'll just stick around, do it in the shop. And then I see Becker out there and I'm like,
I told you should have done it from the lake. I'm not trying to keep people from fishing. We got two more guys that are on from different bodies of water as well that are going to jump on. So, I mean, that you take that L hard, Matt.
I do. But the good thing is I can be on the water here in about 3 minutes. In fact, it's Wisconsin, so I can be on like 35 lakes within like 20
Can't you catch like record sturgeon literally on like a ball of night crawlers off your back deck?
Yeah, I just.
Weren't you and Becker catching sturgeon like last week off of your back deck?
Yeah, I did. I had Drew Gill and Matt Becker and Brittany.
Drew Gill's also going to be on. I swear this wasn't planned.
They got to fish the team series up in Minocqua. Was it last weekend? Mm-hmm. So they stayed at the house for a couple of days since I'm like an hour and a half away, right on their way. And we did. I was able to get Matty Becker his first sturgeon, couple of sturgeon actually.
Nice. All right. One of the cool things that you and the Wonder Boy Johnny have put together, in between him cutting weight and counting grams of protein, is the core tackle experience for the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. I actually have this. I'm taking it to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Really cool core tackle hats. I wish I'd had you throw more in there. And then
I can send you more. And
then an absolute plethora of all of Core Tackle's hottest baits. Like everything. This is everything that Core Tackle makes in basically every weight, including multiples of some of the hottest, most popular items. So if you've ever wanted to get into Core Tackle, wanted to try it, this is a $200 to $300 plus just straight retail value of, well, you sent it to me. What is it?
Yeah, I don't even know the value. I believe I sent you one of every SKU we had. So it's literally one of every product. So it's probably, I'm going to say 80 to 90 different products. That's Goldilocks. That's my favorite swim jig of all time. Was that the Ozark rig?
Yeah, the Ozark rig. Every single thing that's in here that Core Tackle makes is up for auction, which has to be cool to look at it when you started, with your basic hover rig a couple years ago. And now you're up to, well, like you said, over 80 different things. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the intention was never to start that, but it is really cool when I walk into a bait shop now. Who knows where, like I just stopped in at Hook, Line and Sinker down in Rogers, Arkansas. I was down with Johnny over for the last couple of days. And you walk in there and you see a whole pile of Core Tackle stuff. So it's a really cool experience. It still takes me by surprise.
You mentioned the experience. So it's available currently at 325 bid. And this auction is open through the 25th, roughly 8 p.m. Central time. But check it. But here's the cool thing about it. Both you and Johnny have your own channels. You do a lot of stuff between the Fish the Moment and Matt Steffen Fishing. You do a daily video, actually. But the winner of this prize pack will actually get to chat with you and Johnny one-on-one, no one else there, via video conference call about Core Tackle, their bodies of water, how to use it, where to use it, how to rig it, and you guys can really get them dialed in for this prize pack that they're going to receive.
Yeah, they can. They can ask us whatever they want to ask us. It doesn't have to be core tackle related. It could be YouTube content. It could be professional fishing. It could be, give us the inside information on Matt Pangrack. It could be literally whatever they want. This is something we thought we would just add. Maybe it helps fundraise a few extra bucks.
Yeah, definitely. I've got it right here. Ozark rig, Scamper rig, the Shimmer rig, the Tush, the Strut Head, the Swim Jig, the Cover rig, the Weedless Wacky Shot, and the hat. So it's got, and I think there's a couple other. I think there's some of the stuff that's like heavy duty and some of the new stuff in there too. So plus you get to chat with Johnny and Matt for a full hour.
Yeah, like I said, I just got back from Arkansas on Sunday morning. And, if people are looking to cut some weight, Johnny would be the guy to talk to too. He's, I don't know if I was impressed by his garage weight room or disgusted by his garage weight room that really created a lack of tackle. Like it was. Have you ever
noticed that? Yeah. Does he
garage?
still have the big? Does he still have the big mosquito netting that goes over the front of it so he can pump iron with the garage door open to impress the neighbors? And then it's got like the magnetic close, so he doesn't have to worry about flies and insects while he pumps iron.
Yeah, that's all there. He's got about, I don't know, 10 different machines lined up. He's got ropes hanging off the ceiling. I mean, it is a full blown gym. I was giving him a little a hard time about why he even pays for a gym membership. He should charge people to go to his garage.
There it is right there. The Core Tackle Experience donated by Core Tackle. And then now that you're back, I think we're both in a really kind of busy time of the year, but it's fixing. We kind of fit something in, and I think we'll announce it now because we're not going to talk about it now, but we'll announce it. What is taking place the first full week of October there, Matt?
We are going to continue our Master Angler Challenge. You are coming up to my house. We're going to spend several days up here chasing whatever species we feel like we can manage to catch. Largemouth or smallmouth, maybe largemouth, walleye, muskie, some of your northern species. Try to check a couple off the list.
For the In Fisherman Master Angler length, we did it last year, and it was some of the most fun that I had the entire year last year. We fell just short of a hybrid striper. Matt hooked a Master Angler bass for about half a second. Nothing you could have done on that. And then we both wrapped it up with Master Angler crappie.
Yeah,
so
that was amazing. And now we've got we can utilize what we did last time, the things we did right, the things we did wrong, and try to even make better content this time.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks for jumping on, Matt. Go fishing.
See ya. Go raise some money, Matty.
All right. We'll do. All right. That is Matt Steffen, co-owner of Core Tackle. And now let's go to the full owner of Juice's Jigs, Jarrett Morrison. He's actually in the lab there. Is that a doe in the background that you have up on the wall there, Juice? In the back corner? Is that, it is a buck, just a small rack on it. Sorry about that. Mistook it there for
it's okay.
I know you love to rack up those bucket racks. So
yeah.
All right. If you've known you, we've been buddies since college, and last year you did a Bass Fishing Hall of Fame juice box that I think went for like over $800 for kind of specialty hair. Do you remember what was in last year's juice box? I think it was a bunch of hair Mickeys and things like that.
It was, yeah. I had some of the full body hair Mickeys, and the standard hair Mickeys. I had the purple gas and the Tennessee shad and a few other colors in there. So
it was one of the highest, most furiously bid on items, because obviously if you know Juice and Juice's Jigs, his drops are basically like hand carved swim baits where they sell out within 3 to 5 minutes. When you had your last drop last month, and it was pretty much sold out within the first hour.
Yeah, there was 300, and that was my largest online drop. We sold over 300 jigs, so that's pretty exciting about that. So
I was super pumped when I asked him if he would be willing to donate another box to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, and he said yes. But I mean, I've been kind of privy to it. I've gotten to see it and fish it. There is a new drop, and I've got it right here in my hands. A never before seen. Heck, we had Billy Egan that announced that Ben Milliken's fished at the U.S. Open. We've had some good guests on. This is a never before seen variation to the Juice's Jigs. Like, this is a hair Mickey. These are the actual jigs that are in the auction, though. But in 30 seconds, walk us through this new kind of introduction to the Juice's Jigs lineup that is available with 3 of these, the first 3 that have ever been available for the general public at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame auction.
So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity for 3 feather dusters, and it is an articulating hair jig. So it has more natural movement than, and it's crazy the drawing power this thing has. You can burn it on top. It's a pretty versatile bait. It's pretty special. Here's like one of the first ones that I've ever tied this is like probably the OG that I've tied. I don't know. I tied last year for myself. And
that's the ones that I've got. These look These are unreal. Whatever you've done with these,
I've refined it a little bit.
Yeah, well, let's show this one then.
No, but I wanted to show you guys the difference of this. I've probably caught, I don't know, 70, 80 fish on this one, like over the past year, and it's still held up really well. And so, you know, you're gonna be able to catch a ton of fish on it. You're gonna be able to fish it blind. I've caught it over, you know, thrown it over grass lines. You know, just it's basically an improved hair jig / swim bait minnow. But it moves, and I'll do some videos on it over the next couple of weeks and stuff, and explain how to fish it and whatnot. But yeah, no, I'm pretty proud of this one. They take a while to make, but they're worth it. So.
And then some toasted shad in the standard Hermikis, some snowflakes in the, are they snowflakes or what are the, no,
that's a smoke show. So it's like a smoky blueback herring bait. So I designed that for like as a herring color, just with the smoky gray on top.
Very cool. So 9 jigs in total. And then the gem of it, the autographed Juice's Jigs hat right there. Guys, this is worth a lot of money. I mean, these jigs individually, I don't know how but I've watched you tie them, your hours in for each one of these. You're kind of like doing the swim bait of jigs, but that is available on the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame auction. If I had it to the stage, there it is. Next bid at $280. It 8 ounce, 3/16 quarter ounce, featuring tungsten resin heads. And then, like I said, that new feather duster right there. I've caught fish on it. I've used it. It's part of my arsenal. I mean, dude, this thing is, I think this thing is the future. And really, you'll have the first 3 that have been kind of commercially available for it. So greatly appreciate your support of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame Juice, and look forward to seeing how high these things will go.
Yeah, me too. So go support.
When's the next drop?
That's what I'm trying to work on dialing in, because I've been working on one more kind of new bait to the arsenal. I've been kind of finalizing that. I've been spending a lot of time on dialing that in. So, and that one will be even better than the feather duster. So, but yeah, like probably sometime in, what is it? Yeah, probably sometime in middle of October. So
phenomenal. Then that comes with that. The autograph comes with the Juice's Jigs in the juice box, all available through the 25th bid on the bassfishinghof.com for the auction, with all the proceeds going to the Hall of Fame. Thanks, Juice. I know you got some work to do, so I appreciate you fitting me in.
Yeah, man. Thanks a bunch.
All right. Now we're going to get to another angler. And like I said, different parts of the country. Matt Becker looked like he was dry and having a great time on Guntersville. Drew Gill looks like it's a little wet on Lake of the Ozarks. Can you hit your audio there, Drew? There you go. I got you.
Okay.
MLF Toyota Series taking place on Lake of the Ozarks, your classic early fall Ozark Derby. Now, if my memory serves me right, you have didn't you start the year off, or was that last year? Didn't you start the year off with like a really brutally tough Lake of the Ozarks tournament where you top 10'd after you caught one and you said, slight adjustment, and then came in with like the biggest sack of the week?
Yeah, AKA 14 pounds. But that was the Ozarks tournament here in March this year. And I never thought I'd see a tournament on this lake where 9 pounds a day made the top 10, but that one was absolutely crazy. And this one's going to be tough. It's not going to be that tough.
All right. We've had a bunch of guys that have jumped on to talk about what they've given to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, kind of the annual giveaway. This, to me, is one of the sneakiest trips. I think I don't think you can argue. There's no one that can argue. I'll go ahead and say it. I think you are the best electronics, especially with forward-facing sonar, going in professional fishing. Now, you could throw an Easton Fothergill in. There's a couple other guys that you could throw in there. You could throw a Bank Shaw after what we've seen with him this year. But you look at the body resume, you look at the top 10s, you look at the accomplishments that you have in the wins. I will say you are number one, and you are giving away or auctioning off a day on the water with Drew Gill to support the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and really that's where I think the value comes in. I was really excited to support this. The Bass Fishing Hall of Fame does a really good job of trying to enshrine people of importance in the industry, not just anglers, but people that have contributed significantly to the sport of bass fishing, something we all reap the rewards of. So to contribute to this was something I was really excited about, but this will be, bookending one of our Bass Pro Tour events, whether it's before or after. This will be on a fishery either near one of our BPT events before the event or on the place we actually fish the tournament afterwards. It's going to be a good opportunity to get on the water with me, go catch some bass, maybe learn something about the fishery that we're on. But specifically, this is going to be a really good opportunity for somebody to get in the boat with me and learn the dark arts. It's going to be one of those things where if you're looking to dabble in the secret magic, we'll talk live scope for as long as you want to talk it. So it's one of those things where seeing is believing, and I think it's an opportunity for somebody to get in the boat and hopefully learn an awful lot in a very short span of time.
So we're talking like shoulder to shoulder, standing up there, watching you work on a tough bass and seeing with their own eyes how it went down, and then asking you as many questions as they want, and then going through the process with you while you critique them and teach them.
100%.
Right.
It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna go catch a lot of fish, and I'm more than happy. This is really where I think I have an opportunity to provide some value to this Hall of Fame auction, things like that. Is we can go out there and we can go play by play, walk through how I go out and approach catching a single bass. And, that's a really fun thing to do for me, because it's kind of like, it's kind of like watching somebody's entire approach to club selection and picking a shot in golf. If you get to see inside their mind and see the process, you can repeat the process. And so it's one of those things where I'm really excited about that opportunity, because seeing somebody learn and seeing them, have that moment where they get it is something that's really valuable to me. I think it's going to be a very, very good time.
Very cool. Right now, it is currently the next bid's at $750. And it's either one or two people. Like I'm saying, if you're a team guy and you guys are novice but fair scopers, right now, I think you split that. You guys get out there and you put Drew to work. And I promise you, I've been in the boat. I've never been in the boat with Drew. That is most likely going to happen this fall, winter. But I've been in the boat with some of these guys who have it exceptionally dialed in, and the learning curve, it is months, it is years of learning curve with just watching how it's done properly. Like I'm thinking of a couple instances where I went from, okay, how does this work, to I get it, and they didn't even realize that what they were saying or giving. I like also the fact that Drew's like, hey, I'll tell you everything I do and how I do it, and you still won't be able to beat me. You've done that since you came into the game. I think it's kind of baller. So anything else, Drew, before I let you get back? I know you got a long day of practice, and these practice days when it's rainy are usually pretty tough.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest, it's one of those things where if you let me sit here and talk about this trip for like 2 hours where I don't have to go back out in this rain, I wouldn't.
Oh, no, you're headed out the rain because there's another guy who's also on the same lake, who's also under a dock, who's probably hoping this interview goes longer with you so he can stay under a dock longer.
Yeah, but that's all I got, man. It's an awesome opportunity to support the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame and ideally get a day on the water with me. And that's something that I'm very much looking forward to.
I am interested to see where the bidding goes on this trip, because I think you're going to get into a bidding war between a couple of guys who, what did you say, want to learn the dark arts?
Yeah.
All right. How much is it going to take to win this thing this week? Now, mind you, I will say before you answer that question, I have Jeremy Lawyer in the queue. And if there is a man that you do not want to give a number to on Lake of the Ozarks to get to, Jeremy Lawyer is probably one of those guys. So answer very, very cautiously with the game plan in mind.
I'm going to say it's going to take about 48 pounds. I think about 16 pounds a day will be the deal. We're getting a lot of rain right now, which is atypical for this tournament. This tournament has happened the last couple years in a row, but we've never had this much precipitation leading up to it. The water temp's cooling. The water's going to come up a little bit, have a little bit of inflow, and I think it'll be a little bit better than normal. So I'm going to say 16 a day. And fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, there's going to be a lot of fish waiting on top water this week, so that's what I'm trying to dial into.
See, is that a game plan? Is he planning on catching 20 on a jig and he knows Lawyer's listening? You never know. Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we'll get to him right there. I see an ear. Hopefully you can hear me. There's Jeremy Lawyer tucked under a dock on Lake of the Ozarks. Got to be a Derby favorite heading into this Toyota series. Can you hear me, Jeremy Lawyer?
Yeah, I can hear you and everything. It's pretty loud on my end, so I got the phone close. But yeah, it's definitely raining here at the Ozarks.
Do you think Drew Gill was playing some mind games with you? Oh, only 16 a day. Oh, it's going to be a topwater deal.
Well, I don't know. I can tell you right now, I don't even have a topwater out right now, and it's raining. So, you know, they're going to catch him on everything. He'll probably do his deal, and I'll do mine, and everybody will kind of land where it was. I'd say he's spot on with the weight, though. I said 50 pounds earlier today. If a guy could catch 50, he'd probably win by a little bit of a margin. So that's probably really close.
All right. One of the cool trips experiences / items that's being auctioned off at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame auction, link is in the description, is an experience trip and a tackle trip. Now, it's no secret that you are a crappie fishing aficionado. I need the Jeremy Lawyer Signature Series shirt, the catch and release into the grease shirt. And one standard, a new premium tackle company is something that you've worked really closely and quietly with for the last couple years. And you guys finally came out recently this past year with an entirely new line of kind of premium crappie tackle.
Yeah, 100%, Matt. You know, we kept our cards kind of close, and we wanted to make sure and have everything laid out. You know, with the team we had in place, we had some great guidance, you know, to have it exactly the way we wanted it when it came out. And we didn't want to release anything until it was perfect. And so the stuff that we have now, it was just kind of breaking the ice and getting out there. It's been really perceived well. We've caught a lot of fish on it and different things around the country. We've seen where it's went to so many different states. About 42 different states is what we've sold to. It's really cool to see all that go down. But we've got some stuff coming, and we included in this trip just because, you know, the person that gets this trip, we want to make sure that they leave with the latest and greatest. So Denali and One Standard's on board back in the trip, and they're going to leave with some great prizes as well as a cooler full of fillets.
So this is a full day guided crappie trip with Jeremy Lawyer. You said cooler of fillets. Are you going to be slabbing them out for him?
Oh yeah, I'll skin them and everything. You know, the one thing about crappie over bass, you know, a big majority of the people want to take them home and eat them. They want to share them with friends and family on Super Bowl Sunday or whenever. And so, yeah, it's pretty common. But now, make no mistake, I'm not a full-time guide or anything. I'm just offering this through the Hall of Fame to try and help raise some money. You know, we did it last year. It was well perceived. I think it went for about $700 to a local man there around the house, and he had a great time, and they wouldn't be surprised if he didn't buy it again.
Yep. So currently it's only at 150, which is an absolute steal for this. But BPT angler Jeremy Lawyer, you get all the One Standard tackle and equipment, so you leave with everything you need to catch crappie all winter, spring, and summer long. You get the rod and reel from Denali Fishing and a day on the water. And I'll tell you, if you haven't spent any time around Jeremy Lawyer, which I have at some of the media events and some of the things that are there at Lake of the Ozarks, one of the funniest dudes with some of the best stories out there. I mean, I put him right up there with Mark Davis. So definitely a fun day.
Well, I appreciate that. We'll try to make it fun, and we'll pick a time when we can go that suits them. It's not like there's an expiration date or something like that. We'll honor it, whatever. And we'll go to, you know, Grand or Stockton or Table Rock or whichever lake seems to be the best, or whichever one they'd like to learn on. They can use this as a learning experience or whatever it might be. But it'll be a good trip in the end. We will take 2 people, so don't feel like it's a one-person trip. And then it'll be a good time by everybody.
All right, I'll let you get back to it. I know it's raining, and that is a great close-up of the ear, looking clean and good. So we'll see you, Jeremy.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, later. All right, that is Jeremy Lawyer. I have announced I'm doing this deal called Crappie Talk Live. It's for the bass anglers who want to learn how to catch crappie in a variety of conditions. It's not just straight live scope. It's not just straight giants. Jeremy Lawyer is a big part of that as we work through. It's going to kick off sometime in October and run all the way through March and April. we're gonna have shows that if you want to just target those giants, if you do have live scope and you want to see how we're doing it with the 14 to 16 foot rods, if you want to see how Jeremy Lawyer's doing it dock shooting with 6 foot rods and 8-pound tests, if you want to do it how you're fishing it in timber with 0 live scope, all of that's going to be covered. It's going to be 8 shows. It's going to be 8 informative kind of on location videos. We're going to kind of travel around the country and get the pulse of bass anglers who enjoy crappie fishing during the off season. It's a passion project, but also a selfish project, because I was like, man, I spend 30, 40 days a year doing this. And every time I posted on my social media on Instagram about it, I would get a ton of questions in the comments that were like, hey, teach me your ways, teach me how it's done. So I said, screw it. So we're going to bring Zeke Anderson in, who's been in the professional crappie world. This doesn't cover tournament fishing. This isn't how to catch your best 7. This is for a bass guy who has grown up occasionally crappie fishing to get really dialed in. So when you go out, regardless of your skill set or where you are, you have the right stuff, which it isn't a ton of stuff. You have the right stuff. You have the right starting point. Whether you're going with kids, with your buddy, whether you're trying to post a grip and grin with a 3-pounder and you're releasing. So really excited about that. One Standard, the title sponsor of CTL Crappie Talk Live, Jeremy Lawyer is going to be a big part of that moving forward. All right. Another important sponsor to BTL is the Bass Zone. I just spent some time on the water with Scott Palmer, put on the new kind of prototype of the 0 degree from Beatdown Outdoors. Had Mike McClellan on. We talked a little bit about that, but a longtime supporter of BTL. And I called Scott and I said, hey, I want to get you involved in this Bass Fishing Hall of Fame auction. And he did not hesitate. So Scott Palmer from the Bass Tank headquarters up around the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. Thanks for jumping on BTL as I believe our last guest today.
Really? Can
you
hear me okay?
Yeah, a little bit tin canny, but I think we're good. Let me see if I can get in here on the audio and work some magic. Let's adjust the mic. How about now?
Check. That's. Can you hear me okay?
Let's change. How about now?
Not now. Is this any better?
Yeah, we'll roll with it with this. It's only for 5 minutes. I can clearly hear you. It's just we got a little bit of the tin can going. All right. I've got a pack here, and we've heard from a bunch of different guys, but one of the things that I have seen traveling around the country is a lot of guys who've spent a lot of money to have the right stuff, and they're not exactly sure how to use it, and they don't know who exactly to talk to. And I know on your end, it's difficult for you when you talk to people who bought their stuff from other places that are installed improperly, that doesn't have it, and you spend a lot of your day helping people, and then you're like, dude, like, it would be helpful if they were Bass Tank customers. So I was like, hey, here's a deal. Can you put together a prize pack for them and then include a 1-hour diagnostics call for a guy who's got it all, but who isn't quite sure if it's set up? Kind of like when I call you about twice a year after I hit a bunch of buttons that I'm not supposed to, and you get it back looking, and you donated that to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head there. Unfortunately, I do run a business, and but we have a lot of. I still want to help people, and so I have a bad habit. We can call it that. But I answer questions for people that understand I'm in it. But at the same time, I'm not going to apologize for that. It's who I am. I don't think that. I really prefer them to be customers, but this is a way to get back. And it doesn't have to be diagnostics. It's got to be. It could be troubleshooting. Hey, this is broken. It could be whatever. Just taking an hour of my time to use it however they see fit. Honestly, I think that would be. Hopefully, people see the value in that. If nothing else, just for a good cause. For the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, I love what we're doing there. And we included a couple little things in there as well. Kind of
transducer shield of your choice if you win it and you have it. That's a proprietary thing from the Bass Tank, whether you've got active target or live scope. One of the coolest things is the software. And I'm going to do a lot of talking because it kind of sounds like you're trying to land a plane in a storm. But hey, I'll take 8 for 9 on guess. It's there. We need to. We'll work on the mic there.
I can try a different mic. I can try my computer audio.
Yeah, try a different mic. Just pull it out. See if we can do this on the fly right here. While Scott does that, one of the coolest things that he's also giving away is a soft. Yeah, is that a lot better? How about now?
How about now? Can you hear me better?
Yeah, that's like twice as good.
All right, we're gonna try that then.
Yeah, it's still a little echoey, but we'll roll with it. So this is one of the coolest things that I have on based on the trolling motor that you have. The Bass Tank soft foot is an absolutely must in the summertime because I like to scope barefoot because I feel kind of like those kickers who scope barefoot. And then the 1 hour, and then also a bunch of cool giveaway stuff in there. One of the coolest things, if you're a bank angler, and this is really expensive, and he just kind of threw it in. I think it's like over $200 on that, is this Garmin Striker Cast GPS where you can basically attach it to a rod with braid, cast it out, and then it's an app that attaches to your phone to where you can see the depth is, where the depth is and things like that. So a really cool prize pack along with the hour of kind of troubleshooting that Scott is going to provide. So did I describe that pretty good there, Scott?
Yeah, pretty much all of it. You know, the practice cast, we almost think about like, hey, this would be really cool. And you can set weight limits on it. That one actually includes the GPS, so you can actually map. There's little ponds and things like that. And I wish I would have had that as a kid. But anyway, yeah, pretty spot on with everything you got there.
Very cool. And I promise you, Scott can rig a boat better than podcast audio. So that's available on that. I'm going to let you go, Scott. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it.
See you, Matt.
See ya. All right, that is Scott Palmer from the Bass Tank. So I just wanted to throw in some of that. I mean, I could have gone completely down the list. There's a bunch of other stuff on here. Fishing with Alton Jones on a private lake in Texas, virtual meetups. If you guys have a shop and you want a jersey, and you go into your buddy's place and they've got jerseys, there's a good chance they got them at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame auction. Every jersey of your favorite pro has donated this, from the BPT, from the Bassmaster Elite Series, from the Opens, from the Invitationals. There are dozens and dozens, and you can just click on the jersey tab right here. I mean, here's a Bernie Schultz jersey, Shaw Grigsby from his final year of fishing competitively, all sorts. There's Gerald Swindles, Trey McKinney's, Randy Howes, Luke Palmer, Chris Johnson from the back-to-back Angler of the Year, Mike McCloud, all sorts, KVD of jerseys. And I like I said, once you start naming it is. So if you're a jersey guy, you want a framed jersey to have it, that's where it is. A bunch of different trips in there. There's some really cool one-of-a-kind things that you can't get anywhere else. This is a honoring Aaron Martin signed banner. So it's in 2025, Bass 365, which is Ricky, does a great job of covering things, had anglers from both trails sign this giant commemorative banner for Aaron Martin's that's giving it away for the Hall of Fame. Aaron obviously inducted into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. There's all sorts of cool stuff on here. So go ahead, check it out. You can find, like, here's one here. It's a shadow box with 2025 Bassmaster Elite Series winning lures. So all of the winning lures from the Bassmaster Elite Series has been combined into one shadow box. Great for your shop or anything. I mean, I don't really have to try to sell any of this. It's all pretty cool. If you're looking for sunglasses, if you're looking for rods, another great way to do it. I do want to end the show with the BTO virtual experience. So the last couple years, I've done a trip where you get to come to Oklahoma. We've done it, but logistically, travel wise, that's been kind of tough. So here's what I wanted to do. One of the cool things is when I get to interact with BTL listeners, with people who are dedicated listeners to the show, and I get great suggestions for guests and things like that. So this is easier on both ends. The BTL experience, you get to co-host BTL with me. So just like I am kind of behind the stage working with guys, you get to basically produce the show. So you will be on the screen with me, depending on who you would like as a guest. If you win this, if it's at all possible, we'll get that guest on. You can work with that guest to get the show set up to do it. You can co-host that BTL show, which will go out on BTL. If you just want to come on and talk for whatever you want to talk about, just be a guest on the show, you can do that too. It also includes prize packs from Denali Fishing, AFCO, and Sunline, as well as some BTL merchandise. So a really cool opportunity to virtually co-host BTL for the day. And then if you, I pretty much have been an open book on the show, but if you have any kind of behind the scenes questions or anything that you have for me about the industry or fishing or anything like that, by all means, that takes it. So I think that's right up to 600 now under the trip. So another awesome trip available for the Hall of Fame. I'm going to wrap things up here. Get ready to go to the Hall of Fame. Sadly, at 41 years old, I realized my suit from last year's Hall of Fame didn't fit. So I got a new suit, and I was telling John before we went live, never thought of the dress shirt. If the suit doesn't fit, dress shirt probably doesn't fit either. Did not close on the neck, which is a little bit of a self-indictment on my part. So I will work on my self-esteem and get a shirt that's one size larger before I head to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. So no show tomorrow or Thursday, as Frank Scalish will also be at the Hall of Fame. One of the cool things that they're doing in person, and this is an in-person live auction, is they didn't even tell Frank that they did this, but they took his like original drawings for the 5 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame lures, which has raised over $20,000 with what Pradco and LureNet has done. The 5 Hall of Fame lures almost all sold out. I think there's a couple Larry Nixons left and a couple of the Big O's for Mr. Murray, but the 3 top waters are sold out. So if you want to get those other 2, you can. But over 20,000 Frank's going to be there, and they put it together in this big giant shadow box with the 5 individual lures. So I would expect some big league guys, some of the big wigs for companies and anglers that are going to go there. That's going to go for thousands of dollars to the Hall of Fame. But want to give a shout out, Billy Egan. Circle back to the beginning of the show. If you're looking for something to fish in the next couple of weeks, maybe you pop the championship at the end. You've got a little extra coin, $1,600 entry fee, $170,000, basically top prize by the time they have that top line Ranger, and $70,000 cash. Consider going to Mohave. It is a badass tournament. And then a shout out to John Mazurkowitz for taking time to jump out. Pete Robbins, Juice, Matt Steffen, Matt Becker, Jeremy Lawyer, Drew Gill, Scott Palmer from the Bass Tank. Awesome to have accessibility and have guys that are willing to take time out of on the water, off of their jobs, from their daily routines to come on and support the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame and BTL. That's all we got for today. Remember, the auction link is in the description of the show. You can also go to bassfishinghof.com. Click on the link to get to that, to look through all of it. If you guys have any questions or comments, you can email me, matt@basszone.com, or shoot me a DM at Matt Pangrek on Instagram. I think that's all we got for today. We got through it. All right, we'll talk to everyone later. See ya.